Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Sunderland 1, Everton 1. If someone can explain to me what sort of just happened, I would love to know. Everton dominating the game for 30 odd minutes. Great goal by Elam and Jai. Jack Grealish hits the post. Barry misses from a yard. And then we just seem to collapse. We just collapsed, really. I don't know whether it was the miss by Barry, but all the momentum just swung. Well, it was let's be honest, it was the miss by Barry. All the momentum just swung the other way. For the last 10 minutes or so, we were under the cosh from Sunderland. And then the second half, I mean, they score within, 30 seconds. And it's pretty much all them, without making too many clear-cut chances. They had the chance just after, which Pickford saved. Other than that, they huffed and puffed and puffed, a few long shots and a few, shots that have it, hit bodies, and they've cried for handball a few times. But from our point of view, what on earth was that performance? Like, how on earth can you be so dominant? And really, Barry's miss was the turning point, because at 2-0, I think we would have been very, very comfortable. I think we would have just kept the ball and controlled the game. Hopefully, you'd like to think so anyway. But we just panicked. We just went into panic mode the last 10 minutes of the. It's a trait of this team and a trait of many Everton teams in the last few years. And I think everyone knowing will agree with me on this. How quickly panic sets in to Everton teams. How quickly we concede one and then concede another one not long after, like we did at Man City. It just spreads through the team so quickly. The lack of leadership, the lack of that player grabbing hold of the team and going, lads, let's just calm it down. There's no like, I don't know what it is. There's not that kind of leadership within the squad. And there hasn't been for a very long time at Everton. We've had some good players. We've had some good captains, but there's nobody who can just settle the team down. And then we just seem to be constantly panicking. I mean, we were thankful to get in for half time, and you get them in and you have a chat with them, and you tell them to calm down, and then you concede a goal in the first minute of the second half, and then you're going to be under the cosh. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. The last 10 minutes of the second half, and pretty much all the second half, first half and all the second half, we were absolutely dreadful. Like as bad as anything under the last three managers. Genuinely, just kicking the ball away in the strikers 60 yards up the pitch, losing the ball in our own half in dangerous areas. It was just, I don't know how to explain it. How a team goes from dominating the game to that point. I just don't get it. I really, really don't get it. And we will come on to the subs in a minute, but obviously there's just so many moments that compound it. I've talked before this game about goals, and our goal was absolutely superb. I mean, Jai has picked the ball up, ran at their team, and it's an absolute wonder goal. So it's not like a team that we've created, and it's a wonder goal. But after that, it was like, Grealish hits the post, and then it's a great ball over for Barry, and he should put it away. And we've had a few of those moments in their box, not as clear cut as Barry's, where big opportunities to see the game out, and we haven't taken them, and everyone just seems to panic. Everyone just seems to panic in the team, and it's so, I don't know, it feels so unmoist, but at the same time, maybe it's taste of like Moyes as he gets older. He's become desperately safe. When he came in, in January, there was absolutely there was nothing we could do but be brave and try and win games, and we had to, and we did. There was no way we could sit back and let teams dominate us. There was no way we could be passive in games. We had to be the aggressive team to go and win games of football. We had to be clever. We had to be in people's faces. But this season, I'm afraid, it's not good enough because we've become really just a passive football team who allows other teams who seem to be desperate to win things and desperate to get up the league. And we're just like, oh yeah, it's all right. It's fine. It's fine. And I don't get it. I don't see any hunger. And the manager sets the course of that. I'm a big advocate of David Moyes. I always have been. But no one can be blind to what we're watching at the moment. This is dreadful from the manager. Absolutely dreadful. The way he's got us playing and the safeness in his subs and his lack of belief in some of the players who sit on the bench is bordering on embarrassing. It really is bordering on embarrassing. Barry is an idiot for getting booked because the minute he got booked, he gave himself an excuse for the manager to take him off. And Barry hadn't actually been playing that. He'd been playing all right, bordering on well. And then the miss makes him stand out. And then the booking is like the cherry on top. Like, there was no need to do that. And the minute he did it, he had a target on his back. And what the manager can't wait to bring him off. And this is where the manager, I think, needs to have more bollocks. I really do. This is where the manager is playing it safe. And for what reason? For what reason? Beto is not good enough for this football club. I've said it since day one. He is not good enough for this football club. And the minute the kid, Barry, whether you think he's good enough or he's not good enough, the minute you see him warming up and he's got no tracky bottoms on, the lad's head would have just gone west. It would have gone absolutely west. 50 whatever minutes was, and you're off the pitch. And he hadn't actually been playing that poorly. Yes, it was a terrible miss. I appreciate that. But he hadn't been playing that poorly. And the minute Beto come on, woof, gone. Any forward line we had was completely eroded. And that mentality from the manager is just going all the way through the team. It's going all the way through the team now. The next sub is an abomination. It's an abomination. I'm sorry. Don't care what anyone thinks. That sub is an abomination. Was he looking to play special teams? Was he trying to nick the game off corners or free kicks? You have got Diblin on the bench. You have got Carlos Alcaraz on the bench. It's mad. It's absolutely mad to bring on a player that you've completely discarded and him to be your next sub. I find that utterly that's diabolical in my eyes. What David Moyes has done there, absolutely diabolical, that substitution, when you've got that talent. I've said it, anyone who watched the lives today, 4 o'clock, I said it on that. What the summer window is becoming increasingly more embarrassing by the game because of the way these players are being treated. It's embarrassing. To take Barry off. Listen, he was on a yellow card, but you tell him at half time, don't do that again. That will cost your team if you do that again. Don't do it. Cut it out. But then give the lad trust. Give him a little bit of trust. Give him trust. You left him better on last week for 75 minutes. Give the lad a little bit of trust and say, go on, don't be stupid. I'm going to trust you. Don't do anything stupid. Be clever. And he took him off. He then brings on a player that clearly is finished in his eyes, and he brings him on the next sub. and there couldn't have been a worse substitution. There really couldn't. And then after that, again, the subs are too late. Carlos Alcaraz comes on. He makes an absolute mess of the breakaway late on. But straight away, you can see what Carlos Alcaraz wants to do. He takes Jake off again and puts James Garner at right back. What's the point? Just start James Garner at right back, for God's sake. Just start him at right back. This idea of just like, well, we'll just stick it on a right back because we might want to score a goal now. It's ridiculous. Absolutely. The substitutions are just getting worse and worse every game. They're getting safer and safer and safer. And I don't know what's happened to Moyes. And I know he was always a safe manager as Everton, but he's backing himself. He's like Homer going into the bush. He really is. Because when he needed to be brave in January, he was brave and he turned this team around. But now it's like, oh, we'll be fine. Just don't lose the game. Don't lose the game. Don't lose the game. And by doing that, we were just awful second half. We didn't do anything till like the last 5 minutes when we had that breakaway, which we're really, if Carlos Alcaraz picks up his head and puts a ball through, he gets, I think it was Beto 1-on-1. Or if he uses Beto as a decoy, he can go 1-against-1 on the defender. But I just found that I found that a really, really low moment for Moyes, just in terms of he's been increasingly getting more and more negative, and it's weird. Was it Ghana Gay? Sorry, it was weird. It was. I was watching like that. It's just becoming. It's just becoming more and more negative, and it's like, we've got players like Grealish on the pitch. I mean, what would, I'm not saying Jack Grealish had a great game or anything, but what must Jack Grealish be thinking? He's just come from what is probably the bravest manager out there to David Moyes, who wants to play it safe in every game, just wants to play it safe. And yet for the first half an hour, we were brilliant. We were absolutely brilliant for the first half an hour. I don't think we played much better football that first half an hour. And to finish the game, or to play the last sort of hour or 55 minutes in that manner, was just appalling, absolutely appalling. And I don't know I don't think anyone can defend him after that. He's clearly played for a draw and got a draw. But every single one of our players just like lost their heads. Absolutely lost their heads because the panic had set in, and David Moyes didn't help the cause. He didn't help the situation at all. He started, as I'm saying, he started the panic, because instead of calming the players down, I thought he did the opposite. As I said, I wouldn't have took Barry off. I would have let Barry play on and just trust him for 5, 10, 15 more minutes just to see what happened. I don't know. David Moyes might come out and say that was a great point. I mean, by the end of the game, it was a great point because we were absolutely terrible for an hour. So in hindsight, it's a good point. But Everton should have been, we should have been 3-4-0 up in that first half. It's no joke to say that. We really could have been 3 or 4-0 up in the first half without any issue. But the problem is we can't put the ball in the back of the net, and this is going to be the problem. And if we're not, and if we don't, and it's like chicken and egg, isn't it? It's a chicken and egg with the centre forwards, and it's a chicken and an egg with the subs, and not bringing players on. Like, again, Dibbling. I mean, penny for his thoughts. Well, the mail and roll. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, what is going on? 1 minute you're the flavour of the month and he's raving about you, the next minute, where is he? It's mad. It's absolutely mad. I just honestly, I can't watch a game like that and and sit here and just hold my tongue. It's impossible. It was dreadful, and you were just literally waiting for them to score a second goal or get. I mean, a penalty was probably the best way it was going to come, whether it was Michael Keane handballing it or Michael Keane kicking someone in the head. It just looked like a penalty was coming at some point, and that was what was going to win them the game. Um, it was. I just don't. I just think the team's all wrong. I'm seeing loads of people talking about Dewsbury Hall, and I think you're absolutely spot on. And I've been saying it for a few weeks. Dewsbury Hall to me is just. I'm watching him, and people are telling me he's amazing, and I'm just not seeing it. I'm not seeing it at all. He's a lad who goes out, and he just seems to be playing in the wrong position. You know, I'm just the makeup of the midfield. I thought Adesanya Gay was better tonight than he's been in the last few weeks. James Garner was really unlucky with the early shot, but the makeup of the team is just wrong. And once again, he's just picked the same team but changed the striker. And it's like, are you not watching? Um, and the thing about it is, Moyes now has got after the Wolves game has eroded a lot of confidence with a lot of the fan base. Um, it really has, and that's the thing. Sometimes it only takes that one game to turn the fans, and I think Moyes with the Wolves result really has swung a lot of our fans, not only the people who didn't want him in the first place, but a lot of other people. And where the thing of like the trust has always been there, I think on that day, I think you know he really did erode it for some people, and that noise is going to build up. It really is. It's going to build up. And that's not what we need. That's not what we need, by the way. You know, listen, if we win on Saturday, then we're probably where we should be. But that's a big if, isn't it? That's a big if we win on Saturday. Against the team who were only, I think they're a point behind us now after we picked up a point. So, so many bad things tonight. So many bad things. I was literally, it was like tearing my hair out watching. I'm sure everybody else was. It was just so bad. Ricky Kane on the super chat, horrible miss from Barry. Had the feeling that would be the turning point in the game. Poor subs from Moyes. He seems a bit lost, and I feel the same now. No, I absolutely agree. The substitutions, and I've been saying it. I've been saying it for the last couple of weeks on the show. Is Moyes just doesn't have a clue about subs anymore. The five subs I think have like separated the old from the new, and he doesn't have a clue. I watch his subs, and I'm just lost how he does. It's just how random they are. It's how random. And tonight, Dwight McNeil coming on. I mean, that's just the most, and that's not like me going, Dwight McNeil has not had a sniff this season. Has not had a sniff. And we lose Iliman Jai, and let's hope he's all right. Iliman Jai goes off, who's our most creative, our biggest creative player at the moment. Surpassing Jack Grealish. And you're like, well, if he goes off, then Njai comes off, then Diblin, and he brings Dwight McNeil on, and you're like, on the right? Like, didn't we pay 40 million quid for a kid to literally take that position? Like, this is where I'm having so many issues with the summer recruitment. The summer recruitment is just looking like an absolute waste of time. There was a graphic before the game saying we were third bottom in the league for playing players that we brought in the summer. Now, considering how many players we brought in the summer, that is a disaster. Like a disaster in my eyes. When you're playing, what was it, 8 tonight? 8 players tonight who played last season. That to me is a disaster. All that money, all that outlay, and you're only playing. You're playing 3. And then you look at it and go, well, what we should have brought in other. I'm just like, I think it's probably because my shock is I've never seen a game switch so much. I've never seen a team so dominant in its game, and then that happen, and literally making subs to not lose the game when you've been in so much control of the game. That to me, and Moyes will probably say, well, if he hadn't got booked and that Ilman and Jai's come off, but I just, as I said, I just think this just ramps the pressure up on Moyes, and it's not a pressure that it's like it hasn't been it's not needed. It really isn't needed. If Everton had won tonight, Everton would be where most people would expect Everton to be. And if Everton win on Saturday, that's probably where most people would think Everton would be. But people pay money. People pay a lot of money to go to the new stadium. People pay a lot of money to go to away games. And when you're watching football played as badly as that, and when you're watching substitutions of players who are finished at the football club, and when you're watching kids who've been brought in to be the future of this football club not given a chance, and when you're seeing players like Carlos Alcaraz who changed the game against Crystal Palace, once again not being given a chance, and when you're watching players play poorly, excuse me, or when you're watching a game going the wrong way and it's not being freshened up, that to me is when you have to start thinking what is going on. I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. But Everton have to win on Saturday. That's the simple fact, because once we come back after the international break, the games come thick and fast, and there's some serious games coming up. Where if Everton haven't got any kind of backbone about them, then we're going to be beaten, and we're not going to be picking up wins, and this run will continue if we don't change something. And that doesn't mean the manager, by the way. I'm not advocating for the manager to be sacked. I'm just saying if we don't start being braver on the pitch, making better substitutions, making better starting lineups, then Moyes is stuck in a rut as far as I'm concerned. He's stuck in a rut with pretty much 9 of his outfield players. And sort of looking at the strikers going, it's all right. Tonight wasn't just about the strikers. Even though if Barry scores, I'm confident we win that game. It's about what happened after that. It's about Moyes' reaction to that. The minute he missed that, you could almost see Moyes wanting to drag him off straight away. But who is he replacing him with? And it's Beto. And that's on the club. That's on the club in the summer for me. For making the poor decision to only have those 2 strikers at the football club. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens on Saturday. It's a big game for David Moyes because it's at home. It's against the team. Traditionally we've beaten. It's a team who's around us, so we've got to be beating these teams around us if we want to finish comfortably anywhere in the table. And he'll be putting pressure on him. The pressure is going to be all on David Moyes if things don't change quick enough, because there's not 37,000 people inside that ground. There's 50,000 Evertonians in that ground, and they're gonna voice their concerns. So, and I don't know what kind of patience the Freakins have got. That's the other side of it. I don't know what kind of patience they've got. There mightn't be any issues whatsoever with the manager. And that would be the sensible way to look at it. But I don't know. They've invested a lot of money into this football club. And I don't know, because we don't know too much about them. They were ruthless when they came in. They've made big decisions at Roma. I don't think we've got to that point by any means. I really don't. But Saturday, absolutely huge game of football for me now. Yeah, there you go. Right, make sure to check out Baz's videos. I'll be back shortly to do my player ratings. So make sure you stick around for that. Thanks for watching. See you later.